living the life. Yes, but living the life. Yes, but living the life. Yes, but.
Ciao everyone and welcome back to Living the Life. Yes, but today we are here with Paul from the swimming team at Lean. Welcome, Paul.
Hello everyone. Hi guys. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
I'm happy to have you here, and I want to learn more about your experience as a student athlete. And first of all, how did you end up coming to the United States from Germany?
Yeah, so I've been a swimmer my whole life. I've always been trying to be the fastest swimmer that I could possibly be. So all throughout high school, I put a lot of effort into swimming. I've trained before school started. I trained after school was finished. And so when I came to that road, kind of when you're 18 years old and you have to decide if you quit the sport or you keep going. I don't know how it's in Italy. In Germany, it was always like this with these kind of niche sports. So basically everything but soccer. I made decision that I want to keep swimming. I just wasn't done yet. I felt I have a lot more to give and I have a lot of improvements still to come. And so the best option for me was to come to America because here with the college system, you're able to combine studies and high level athletics with having the resources and the facilities to perform at the highest level. So in Germany, it really wasn't possible for me to keep swimming at that level without having a full-time job or studying on the side was also not really possible. So yeah, that drove my decision to come to America.
And yeah, that happens in tennis as well. For, as you said, niche sports that you get to a point at the end of high school and you're like, okay, I'm good at my sport, but that's cannot be my job, unfortunately. And so the United States is always the solution for that. It should not be like that. It should be that in Europe we have the possibility to keep going with our sport, but that's not happening. And so how did you learn about the United States opportunity? And how, did you find the university? Did you have an agency helping you? Did you have friends?
Yeah, so back in Germany when I was competing at nationals, there was always like a agency there, and they were basically offering this route to the United States and offering swimmers to go take that path. So when I learned about that, I read into it. I was also a big basketball fan growing up, so I learned about college sports basically from a young age. And yeah, I got into it and they helped me market myself over there in the beginning for my first year. And starting my 11th grade of high school, I then got my first deal at a D1 in Brooklyn. It was a really, really great location, downtown New York City. And I signed that deal in grade 11. And it took a lot of pressure off of me, right? Because I then knew that I could keep swimming, I could keep training after the high school is done. And I don't know how it's in Italy. In Germany, a lot of students, they stress a lot in these last few high school years because your grades basically determine where you're going to study, if you're going to study at all. If you want to study medicine, for example, you have to have like a perfect GPA in high school. And so all my friends were so stressed about that. I was just focused on swimming, trying to be as fast as possible, and then getting ready to make the transition to America.
And yeah, and that's what also is important for college, that you're a student athlete. So GPA is important, classes are important. Obviously, then depending on how much it's a priority for you, for each of us, it's different. So you said you got to Brooklyn, the first school. How many schools have you been to?
3 in total.
And in 4 years?
Yeah.
Okay, so how did that happen? Like, what brought you to change different schools?
So basically, after my first year in Brooklyn, all the athletic programs got cut off the school because the school had so much debt. They were switching campus. It was a whole thing. Basically, because of money constraints, they were forced to cut all the athletic programs. And that was pretty late in the season where they announced that. So the swim season was already done. I would have had my scholarship honored. Or if I go and I try to keep swimming somewhere else, I don't know where I'm going to end up at. But yeah, I decided that I'm not done swimming yet. I want to keep pushing again. And so I went into the transfer portal late in April, I think. And I talked to a bunch of schools. No one really had enough money for me to commit to them until I finally found a small school in Mississippi.
Yeah. Where, Mississippi?
In the Mississippi Delta. It's called Delta State University. That was Division 2.
We played them. We played them in tennis.
Yeah, you played them. So you know what it was there. You know what it looks like.
I went to Jackson, Mississippi, which is not
Okay,
exactly
yeah.
where it was. But let's say in another episode we'll talk about it. But yes, it was not a great place to be. Let's say
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Compared to Brooklyn, it was completely different. So I saw they had decent training facilities because they were a good football school. It was a big thing there. So they had an Olympic-sized pool still and a great facility for strength and conditioning, which was good for the Division Two. And so I just said to myself, okay, let's go down there, try to get as fast as possible, train like a madman, and then transfer again after that. And so I ended up there. I did that year, was pretty tough, probably the toughest year of my life, but I improved. And then I got another deal. On my third year, I went into the transfer portal again and then ended up here at Lynn University in beautiful Boca Raton, Florida,
Ready for the retirement.
ready for retirement. And yeah, I could spend the rest of my life here, to be honest with you. And now finishing up my last 2 years of college. I'm a senior now, so finish my career in swimming and looking for what's next.
Great. And okay, so please tell me more a little bit of the Mississippi year, because I'm sure it's been tough. So what was the hardest part?
Yeah, it was tough. It was basically a ghost town. So in the Mississippi Delta, you have to imagine, guys, there was nothing there. It was a really super small school. I always say the highlight of the town was the local Walmart. It's really the only thing you could do. We were really training a lot there, so that kept us occupied. I heard in your last episode you were training at 6 a.m. We were training at 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
5 a.m. We got 3 trainings done a day, 2 swims and 1 gym session. So outside of practice times, we were really just chilling in our rooms, not doing anything.
So focus on swimming. Mainly
Yeah,
focus
it
on
was
swimming.
basically a swimming focus, but it was tough. Like the rooms were really hard. Sometimes I didn't have warm water there. It got really cold. The rooms, they were not designed to withstand the winter. So I had also some periods where I was sleeping with a jacket, sleeping with hoodie because it was so cold. I was heating up the room with the shower because that
Oh
was the
my.
only heat source. And then another struggle was during Thanksgiving, right? All the Americans, of course, they went home to their homes, have dinner with their family and spent the break there. But me and some other internationals, we were stuck on campus, right? We didn't have our families there. We didn't have a car. We had nowhere to go. So the whole campus closed during that break. There was nobody there. The cafeteria was closed.
Also, the cafeteria was closed.
Cafeteria was closed. The whole faculty was gone. And basically the whole town was gone because it's basically just like a college town. So there were no restaurants there. There was no food delivery available. And we had to look out what we're going to eat for this week. So
Survival.
it was really like a survival moment. We just had some bars left, some candy
No,
left in the room.
some bars from the team, maybe.
Yeah, and then, man, I'm telling you, we found out that there was some pizzas left in the fridge of the pool. And so we broke into the pool and we grabbed those pizzas, man. And they were like 5 days old already. Domino's emergency pizzas that we got from the meet the week before. And then, yeah, we put some hot sauce on that. And that was our meals. We ate that for 3 days until everyone got finally back.
Yeah, that can be hard. I mean, housing has always been an issue, especially for us international students. Maybe we get in, it's a bit earlier of the semester, a bit later. Sometimes the campus is not open. And so
Yeah.
it's always a struggle. Like, how was when you got to New York? Was it hard or no?
Yeah, so when I got to New York, my first semester, I was in great housing. I was living in the dorms. If anyone knows New York, the dorms were right on the Brooklyn Promenade. Beautiful location, Brooklyn Heights. But the dorms were not fully covered from the scholarship, so we just got a discount from it. But it was still so expensive that after that semester, I had to move out. And me and my roommates, we were trying to find apartments in the city. And everything was so expensive, New York prices. And we ended up finding a 3-bedroom apartment somewhere in the hood. Like we were good 30, 40 minutes away from school, further east in Brooklyn. It was a big culture difference, was a big culture shock there. And then really when we got into that apartment for the second semester of the first year, that's when the grind started because, man, we had to commute so much. We had training at 6 a.m. in Manhattan. We had to commute over an hour to get there with the subway, make food on our own, get groceries, no cafeteria, no nothing. So New York was a grind compared to the other schools because there was no closed campus. It was basically real life, training hard, looking out for yourself. Right when I turned 18, so I was still really young, and so were my other roommates. I grew a lot from it, but a lot of other
Yeah.
kids, yeah.
I mean, this is an example of how not always you find the perfect school when you come to the United States, but you have 4 years to complete your undergrad. So
For sure.
you shouldn't be, sometimes I feel like student athletes before coming to the US are super stressed on which school they're going to get to.
Yeah.
And sometimes that block them. And they're like, oh, I'm not going to that country. I'm not going, it's in the middle of nothing. But I feel like the experience is worth it anyway. Yes, you're going to struggle for
Yeah.
sure. But then you can build your skills, you can grow as a person. And then as you did, and you end up being in Florida at Lynn University,
Yeah.
that it looks like, to what you're saying now, for you a paradise compared to what you were living before.
100%, man. And I mean, I gotta tell you, maybe I wasn't talented enough or I just wasn't fast enough when I first wanted to come to America, where I would have the option to go to any D1 school that I wanted to. I wanted to be in Division 1 because I wanted to compete at the highest level. But yeah, I didn't have the option to choose, okay, I want to go to Alabama, Florida. And there's only a very small percentage of athletes that can do that. But I was just determined enough to go to America no matter what. And no matter where I'm going to end up at, I'm going to make the best out of the situation, train as hard as I can, get as fast as possible, and then end up somewhere better.
I mean, for example, in my case, it was different. I was lucky because I waited a long time to commit. I was waiting, and then I ended up being at the end an offer from University of San Francisco in D1.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a dream. But at the same time, I didn't have that thing like, oh, I have to go to D1. I didn't matter that much to me. Even if now that I've had that experience, I would not like to change that, because I feel like,
Yeah.
as you did, the experience in D1 and D2 is different. And we're going to talk about that in an episode. And what was your experience at nationals? Because I know the swimming team did very well. You have some national champions in the team. And so tell me more about that.
Yeah, nationals is awesome. Only a few percentage of swimmers actually make it to nationals. I don't know how it's in tennis. In swimming, only 20 athletes of each event get invited to go to national. Of course, there's also some overlapping. Some people swim multiple events. They take up spots, right? So only a few elite athletes make it to nationals. And when you make it to that national team, you're getting basically treated like a pro athlete. Like, you're flying there, great flights. You can buy anything you want. You can get all the food for free. You're going to a restaurant each night, each lunch, you're getting food ordered for you. All the recovery tools are there. The physical trainers are working on you anytime you need to. And that's an awesome experience. I'm really glad I got to go the 2 years that I was here now.
And you have a teammate that is a national champions. And, also, because I was a little bit lost. I saw different categories, 200, 400. I didn't know too much about swimming.
Yeah.
So how many titles did you guys get as a team?
We got 5 national championships. 4 of those come from Maurice Grabowski alone. Shout out Maurice, the
Yes.
GOAT. And then the boys won another relay title in the 200 medley relay, led by Maurice in the 50 backstroke, and then finished by Enzo. And yeah, that was the 5th title of the season.
Wow. So, I mean, great season. Okay, now we get to the question of the podcast. Paul, are you living the life?
Am I living the life? Yes, I would say I'm living the life, 100%. I'm working towards my dream, living where I want to live. I wouldn't want to live or work anywhere else. I'm doing what I want to do here, even if it's hard and there are struggles to it, like we mentioned over this podcast. And this is really just kind of gracing it. There's a lot more to it. But yeah, at the end of the day, the experiences that you make here, like going to nationals, putting all that training and effort in with your brothers and your sisters on the team, the person you become, and these special individuals that you meet here, that you get to call family at the end of the day, who are also most of the time very ambitious and high achieving people, makes it all worth it to me.
Okay, great answer. And just let me ask you about your future. What are your next steps? I know you're modeling sometime. Also, I follow you on Instagram. You do videos while you work out in the gym. So what are the next steps?
Yeah, so right now, first of all, I'm going to take a finance job in Miami. Because
Okay,
for
congrats.
now, thank you. For now, I just have to be able to pay the bills, pay the rent. Gonna move in with my girlfriend, Jade. Love you, baby.
Wow, nice, cute.
So yeah, first of all, I gotta make some money, but I'm gonna continue to try to grow these side hustles like modeling and also social media. On there, you can follow me at Paul Meltzer.
There you go.
I'm just trying to put my knowledge that I gained over these 4 years out there help other people achieve their goals, whether it's athletically or aesthetically, and also post some funny videos sometimes, make people smile. And at the end of the day, I think my passion would go more towards that. I really don't know what the future brings right now. I'm kind of everywhere and figuring out the next chapter of my life. But yeah, stay tuned, everyone. It's going to be great.
All right, Paul. I wish you good luck then for your next steps. And thank you for being here with me tonight. With you guys, I see you in the next episodes. Grazie. Ciao. Alla prossima.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for listening, guys. Grazie mille. E alla prossima.
Wow.
Ciao.
So good. Ciao.
Living the life, yes, but living the life, yes, but